Hi, my name is Brendon and this is my persuasive speech. The topic that I chose to do for my persuasive speech was alternative energy versus fossil fuels. Now, as college students, why would fossil fuels be a concern for us? Fossil fuels are slowly being depleted, and finding a way to handle this crisis is imperative. Our generation is going to be the future of the world, and without a reliable source of energy, we'll be in a lot of trouble. Now, when it comes to consumption, China and the United States lead the way. China, with 6.6 million barrels per day, is second in the world behind the United States. But China's consumption is nothing compared to the demands of the United States. Consumption in the United States is up to 20.5 million barrels per day. That's almost 1/4 of the world's consumption. Experts in the area of fossil fuels have stated that the supply currently available is only going to last us into the next decade. And they also stated that most oil companies have sold and exported more oil than they are finding in the reserves. According to figures released by World Watch Institute, coal, natural gas, and oil accounted for 87% of the world's primary energy consumption. This means that as the population increases and our supply decreases, we need to find a new way to harness reusable energy that is sustainable. Now, burning fossil fuels has a large impact on the environment. Fossil fuels such as coal and oil not only hurt the environment when they're burned, but also when they are harvested. When coal is harvested, it goes through a process called the open pit method. This is when they dig a big hole into the ground, destroying plant life near or around the coal reservoir. When burned, the fossil fuels release large amounts of carbon dioxide, also known as greenhouse gases. This release is known to contribute to global warming and also climate change. This is where alternative energy comes into play. Alternative energy is defined as energy generated in ways that do not deplete natural resources or harm the environment. This means that as our demands grow, so should our alternative energy resources. I believe that more funding should be granted to such programs to allow for advancement in these areas. As stated in the New York Times, almost all energy programs in the United States, such as wind, solar, and biofuels, are almost completely supported by government subsidies. Many of these programs end up getting put down by Congress while they continue to provide revenue to old line forms of energy, such as oil and nuclear resources. In conclusion, fossil fuels are a dying energy source. Our consumption is slowly becoming too much for our demand, and the current form of consumption is hurting the planet, and the proper funding is not being provided for alternative energy projects. This needs to change because as a population we're growing, and we need to be supported by resources.